Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wahoo Warrior channel. It's only been forever. Um, I was going to be at Adepticon next week. I took a week off, basically 2 weeks off vacation for the March Madness tournament and then for Adepticon. But apparently, God had other plans, so we're all pretty much stuck wherever you were at. That's all right. At least I got a couple weeks off. I would be right now. I would be basically finishing a couple Japanese infantry uh, for Adepticon, but I would have really got them done last week if, but I knew it was canceled. Uh, so I'm just gonna prop you guys up on my paint table and got interrupted there. So we'll see if that happens very much. I'm kind of down in the basement, so. But anyway, so I am finishing a few Japanese guys. I would have got them done last week. Just mainly I needed some more because Ryan Carlson and I were going to play teams for Japanese, and so I've pretty much got these guys. I have the basing left to do. They're tabletop quality, nothing fancy. Uh, 6 months ago, I had envisioned getting all the basics done and then going back over and doing some sharp edge highlighting and stuff. I always say that. I never do it, but that was what I was gonna do. But you guys have probably seen some of my Japanese from before if you watched any videos. But so after I get this, looks like I've got one squad left to do here, about 12 guys, and then I might do the basing because I've got about 20 other guys done, plus these ones I'm doing, and then I'm gonna start for the finally. It's not bolt action, but Kings of War. These aren't Kings of War miniatures. They're I can't remember the name of the company. They're pretty cool. I used to play Warhammer Fantasy when I first started playing miniatures. Hey Richard, thanks for joining us. I'm glad they were inspired. I every time lately I've been getting online and I realize I haven't been on in forever. I'm gonna try to have Carlson come over and then uh, we were playing a couple games there. Nice. Yeah, the terrain building, some people like that more than they do miniatures. I like to buy my stuff and just play on it. I do take pride in a nice table though. But yeah, so I'm gonna do some Kings of War, try to work on getting those painted up. Yeah, I know, Richard. Well, as far as I know right now, Bug Eater's still on. It's in end of June. So, hey Ryan, yeah, we do need to set something up. I'm off for 2 weeks, so whenever you got any time, you can come up and we'll video a game. But uh, so anyway, what I was saying was, well, get these Japanese gonna start working on Kings of War army. So in the past, I've have one excuse after another. We're finishing college and etc. etc. Uh, Anybody is a long-time watcher. They met my wife. Richard, you live in Clinton, Iowa. That's where my whole family lives. My dad and everybody. Bill Vilmont, he used to be an attorney there, and uh, all the Vilmont clan lived there. Uh, the tournament, Bug Eater's in Omaha in June, and so far it's still on, and I think they discounted the tickets. Hopefully, we get this stupid coronavirus thing under control, that we'll still be able to have that. It's a really good tournament. And so Omaha, Nebraska is where the Bug Eater is. But anyway, there's only a couple people on here, but maybe people watch there. My wife and I were no longer together. Leah, if you ever met her. Uh, so she is gone, and that was kind of what the last 5 months has been. One thing after another. I have to say it was amicable as those things go. But so now I'm gonna have a lot of free time. Still have the kids here and there on my nights off, but I will have some free time for uh, doing some miniatures, as long as we don't all die of the plague. But so uh, I'm working on this army here for the Kings of War army. I can't even remember. I made up a list and took it to March Hare last March, a year ago, and it was fun. I enjoyed the game kind of quite a bit. And when I made these guys up, I put them all on these little. I just used that little sticky putty, and then I don't know. I don't remember what they're called for Kings of War. It's an armies of man type of thing. I have a book for that. I have a book somewhere. And then I'm also planning to try to use some of these miniatures for the uh, both Ryan and I bought the Warlords of Erewhon, nowhere, whatever, uh, which is kind of the fantasy game for bolt action. So I got to figure out how I'm going to base my guys. I may, uh, I'm not sure. I'm gonna before I permanently base them, I want to try to figure out if I'm going to make them skirmishy or not, because I read through the rules on this and it actually looks pretty interesting. I kind of want some of the dynamics in that to be in bolt action. But the Kings of War, my force list is with. I've got a ton of pikemen. I bought a bunch of pikemen. I bought like some of Warlord's Romans for pikes, and I bought some metal ones. Kingdoms of Men is the army I'm making, and the guys I'm going to be painting right here are the foot guard, which are kind of like the elite foot soldiers, and then I've got some of these guys that are more like a militia mob. I think they would be, but yep. So that's my goal for the next 2 weeks is to make some progress on this stuff. Finish up these Japanese and start painting. I haven't painted fantasy in 10 years, so I'm kind of excited to start working on it. I've got tons of colors up here that I haven't used in forever, especially these Citadel ones, because for bolt action I've mainly been using a lot of the Vallejo paint and some of the other ones that are similar to that. I can't remember the name of the companies, but Army Painter, yeah. So I'm gonna try to get some colors back in. I haven't decided what colors I'm gonna go with these guys. I'm probably gonna try to. I like my armies usually to be a similar theme, especially in the uh, like the footmen. Instead of making them all different, which I find difficult to do anyway, is I like to make them give them a nice uniform appearance. You ain't gonna find a Necrosphinx anywhere. I have not heard of Spectre operations. Is it squad level? Can you look up the rules up online? I imagine everybody's. How many people? I guess there's only a couple of you on right now, but I'll try to, as I'm working, I've got nothing better to do. So you can look the rules up online. So yeah, I'll check it out. Oh, Modern Warfare. Okay. Because I haven't even really looked at the bolt action Korea stuff. I imagine it's the same thing, just with some more equipment or different tanks. Been a little bit out of it. I wish the text box would pop up and stay there longer. Maybe that's it. Oh, there we go. Okay, now they should stay up there. But I'm gonna be painting a little bit, so at least I'll be able to see it as it comes. But yeah, I've just been pretty much working a bunch. I'm getting ready to go back to overnights, and I'll be working 9 at night till 7 in the morning, which I actually like that shift because I get to spend more time with the kids. The shift I was on, the afternoon shift, I never get to see the family. So I do have a new girl in my life, a new girlfriend, woman. She's pretty awesome. Maybe some point you'll get to meet her. She uh, she actually really likes nerds. She thinks it's cute. Her brother plays Warhammer Fantasy. I'm a police officer, Richard. Actually, I'm a lieutenant with the Wahoo Police Department here in Nebraska. There's quite a few. There's a couple cops I know who play bolt action. Kind of, I think it mentally challenging, and it's a nice stress reliever to paint. So uh, I'm hoping that nobody I work with gets sick. Yeah, I'm 10 years Navy myself, Richard. Uh, 88 to 98. So yeah, I'm hoping nobody gets sick and I have to get called in. So I told everybody to better fucking wash your hands because I'm kind of wanted this. Even though I'm not going to doing the stuff I was planning to do, I've been looking forward to this time off for a while. I haven't been able to use any vacation or anything. So I'm hoping that Bug Eater is on still, that they get this all taken care of by June. I really enjoyed playing in that tournament. I think I'll take the whole week off, I think. Just because I have vacation I haven't been able to use. And then hopefully, because usually I notice with bolt action, a lot of the tournaments are uh, in the spring and summer. I need to try to find a fall venue, maybe try to catch up. I know there's a pretty strong Kings of War local community, so once I get into that, I'll start putting some videos up. Uh, I played as a total noob who read the rules. I played last year in a 3-match friendly tournament, and I was able to win uh, two. I won one. I lost my second against the guy who ended up winning the whole thing, but it was very close. Finns, Ryan can answer you on the Finns. I like the Finns. Uh, Ryan Ryan sometimes gets a little crazy with them and doesn't take advantage of a lot of their special rules. Ryan, but they're pretty awesome. I'm just gonna finish these. I don't know what they call them. Little equipment straps on their backs, and then I think I'm gonna start trying to paint a fantasy one. I uh, I think what I normally do is I'll grab one or two and I'll paint them all the way through. That's kind of a test. The nice thing about fins and bolt action is when your squad gets down to half, you upgrade in morale. They're very resilient. Even veterans become super veterans. Then some of their units have some great special abilities, like I think it's the sissies squad. They can do an advance and go into ambush. I find that amazingly powerful. Don't see it used a whole lot. I played against John Stentz's finish one time at tournament up in Minneapolis, and I had Gurkhas, and I felt pretty good about it. But between him rolling sixes for his medium howitzer and him playing cautious until he could win those fights, wasn't able to win that. And I had a massive hangover from drinking all night long the night before. That didn't help me. But yeah, they're pretty good army. I think the Japanese are pretty amazing. I haven't played enough games with them. The built-in fanatic rule for free basically is pretty badass, I think. Yeah, I've never seen a night mission played at a tournament. Generally, they stay away from night stuff. They stay away from weather conditions and like a lot of those optional rules, just because so many people don't use them. If you're gonna play in a campaign of some sort, that'd be fun. I don't even remember how the rules go. I've never played one. Uh, if you play in a local community that plays with like a campaign, you might find some use in that because the Japanese have a night fighter unit as well, but you can only field them in scenarios that have night fighting. So if you purchase them for your army and you went to a tournament and there's no night fighting, you can't even use them. So that's kind of dumb. But the those German ones you can use them for anything, but I don't know how much the points they cost or anything. Let's put these guys off to the side. So I haven't painted fantasy models in so long. It's either going to be very difficult or very easy. I'm not going to try to get too crazy, but I think I'm going to go with a. I was going to use like a metrite red foundation, but it's all dried out. So I think I'm going to go with this Bugman's Glow Brown, and I'm going to cover it with a layer of this Watts Daka Red. I've never used this color. I think I picked it up because I knew I was going to paint fantasy. And so I'm going to paint a base brown though, because sometimes I notice when I use this lighter primer, when I try to use a layer right on the top of it, it ends up kind of being see-through a little bit. I really like some of the base paints that Citadel has. I think it covers really good. So I probably should put it in my mixer and shake it a little more because it's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. But we'll just, yeah, I do like these bases. They cover very nicely. And I think this is a tunic. That's I think I threw all the boxes away. So I don't know. A lot of times I like to use the boxes as a guide. I've had these guys for a while though. So, yeah, this whole Corona thing so far here in the Midwest, pretty minimal impact. I'm pretty happy that everybody's taking it seriously though, and that the government's taking it seriously. I see some of our friends overseas are not doing so well. I am personally glad they canceled Adepticon just because I didn't want to be torn between going and not going. So getting a little concerned about the situation. If you've ever been to a big con like Adepticon, I usually end up leaving there sick anyway, just from con flu. You got all these people crammed into one place. Some with questionable hygiene. Usually end up wore out. I have to take a couple of days when I get home just to recover from the event. But generally, I do try to go through Clinton, Iowa there to see my dad. He lives in Comanche, actually, but my whole family's from the Clinton area. If you grew up in Clinton, my grandparents' house was right next to that Hardee's restaurant. They're on that main strip that they kind of leveled all the houses on. That restaurant's still there. It's something else now, but all those houses are gone now. All right, so just did a little bit of brown on the tunic. And I'm going to paint over that with red. It may be a little bright. I've never used this DACA whatever red before. I prefer more of a maroon. That brown in and of itself, I think, looks okay. Probably not the greatest lighting, but give that a minute to dry. Yeah, I don't know why these texts keep popping. They try to. I said all messages visible. Yeah, Clinton. I know we used to go every summer. We'd go at least once, usually twice, to visit the grandparents, and we knew we were close and we could smell it. Yeah, my grandparents' house was facing the back of the house faced it, and then I had an aunt who lived on the other side of the street for a while. That town smelled though. You knew you were there. After a couple of days, you kind of got used to it, but now painting this guy here, he's got mostly looks like chainmail. Darn it, I missed the spot. A lot of times for armor with the fantasy, I used to like to do a black primer and then almost kind of dry brush the metal on top of it. I thought it always looked really good, but it, uh, not always. I kind of like that gritty, kind of worn look, but then you can kind of achieve the same thing with a black wash. It's not quite as dramatic, but so let's see. I got this oily steel, I suppose. So, Richie, you said you painted up an airborne army? Is that what I read early on? Gordy. Yeah, I like these things. I actually, once I started using these, I don't really care for painting without them. I should get a. Oh, you did two bolt action armies? What'd you do? Oh, okay. Airbornes and Rangers. Yeah, that's cool. Carlson's got an airborne army. Hmm. I'm not gonna get too carried away with these guys as far as worrying about details. I think I'm just gonna tabletop quality them. If it looks like it's metal, it's getting painted metal. I'll do a dry brush or a wash, a dry brush, and because I've got so many of these to paint. The one nice thing about the Kings of War system is that you you don't need to constantly change. Like if you want a new unit or something, you don't have to necessarily paint up 40 of them. You can just have the front two ranks and then put filler in and stuff because you don't have to remove the models. Just keep a damage marker. But this armies of man, I've got all kinds of uh, different models for it. I've got a pikeman and rifleman, and I'm gonna snap this shield off here. It's gonna pop off in any moment. Yeah, see I'm painting the chainmail now. I do probably I should have probably used a black primer. I guess I'll just have to see how the black wash makes it turn out. If you guys are texting, I can't see it because I keep setting it to so that all text is visible, but it doesn't stay on the screen. But whenever somebody says something, then they all pop up again. I'm not trying to be rude. Well, I hope everybody around the world here is like me and fortunate enough to not be too impacted by this coronavirus, other than leisure time activities. I can sacrifice some leisure time activities. Ex-military, you kind of get used to having whatever you're planned getting put on hold and screwed over. I hope the bug eater happens. Yeah, I'm on 2 weeks vacation myself, but that's just because I had it planned. Yeah, I hope bug eater happens. I'm looking forward to it. If If everybody gets all this stuff knocked out. So the army I was going to take to Adepticon, if anybody's interested, was basically Japanese. Had a 15 order dice, had a second lieutenant, I had a 10-man IJA veteran squad. So I was looking at a veteran squad. I made a 10-man because I'm going to put them in a truck. And then I have a flamethrower team. So that was going to be my drive at them. What I like about the Japanese, you can just drive like a torpedo. If they would happen to blow the truck up and the guys pop out and they go down, on the next turn you can just bonsai if you have to. If you take a bunch of pins, you're not gonna die. Your guys won't even if you lose half of them, you're still around. I had three 15-man militia squads. I didn't go with any spear guys, but the militia squads are basically more expensive of the same thing, and they can shoot if they need to. Last year I had two with a political officer. They were actually pretty powerful. So I took three with a political officer. I took a sniper. I don't remember why. Oh, I know it. Because then I took a 10-man native irregular squad. So my goal was to have two forward deploying things to be able to kind of dictate some forward deployers. And I took my native irregulars at veteran, which is pretty pricey. But I noticed last year I took a couple squads of those, and they end up taking a brunt of a lot of the fire because they're deployed out front, which is their job to kind of go down. So I made them veteran to last a little bit longer and be able to move my inexperienced stuff up into the table and then be able to attack. Like I said, I got a flamethrower. I took an anti-tank rifle team. Yeah, so because I had the points for it. Anti-tank rifle, what the heck, why not? And then I took two of the suicide anti-tank teams. I don't really like those that much, but if you have them trailed behind your infantry, it keeps armor honest at least. And they're 14 points for an order dice. And I took a Hago light tank. That's a little guy like this one, just a little dude. Single man turret rule, but it's got two medium machine guns and a low velocity anti-tank gun for 90 points. It's just to me, it's a big value. The way that the Japanese tank is, it has a tank gun and it's got a MMG on the back, but you can spin your turret to fire the MMG. Just basically be a 90.7 armor machine gun nest. I also took my armored car, which doesn't have any anti-tank capability. It has an MMG and an LMG. 7 armor, has Recce. I like the Recce just to kind of mess with people. And I took a truck. So 1,000 points. I was just going to go and play. Wasn't going to be, didn't have any grand plan or scheme in mind. Japanese are pretty resilient, and if you play semi-cautiously and you're patient, you can usually get an advantage at some point in turn 3 or 4. If things go to crap, at least you still have a chance to maybe get in close combat. You gotta, even if you're getting your ass kicked, it seems like with the Japanese, there's always some sort of mathematical chance that you could get back in it. I don't know when I cut off. So, Ryan, do you have a Kings of War army? The nice thing about these armored guys is they're mostly just armor. Let's see, I need a flesh color. I've got a lot of flashes. Been painting a lot with these yellow base flesh. I didn't notice there's that many skin colors of tones until I started shopping for paint. Some of them are really runny though. I don't know if I didn't shake them up enough or what, but this one looks like a runny one. Yeah. So when I start mass producing these guys, as opposed to the one, I usually generally just break out one color and I'll do 10 guys, of whatever that is. These guys aren't all the exact same, but they're similar enough where you can kind of develop a nice routine. So, you know, then I just do all the skin, and then I'll do all the shields or whatnot. So, and then let's see. I'm interested to try this red now. Actually, let me do his belt first. Oh, here's a. Oh, if this brown don't work good, I do have a whole red from Vallejo, and I've used that color in the past. I do kind of like that color. What I like doing just one guy. If you find stuff like this guy's belt buckle, I probably should have painted that silver. I could always go back with a gold, but if I want to cut out having to use a color, I could have painted it silver when I had the silver out. So then as you do a series of 10 guys, you end up getting pretty efficient. Alright, now let's try this red. I mean, I could almost go with that. Oh, belt buckles are the important thing. I can almost go with that kind of weird looking red brown. I kind of like that color like it is, but I think what I'll do is, see, these are my elite soldiers, so I'm gonna make them brighter. I do like that brownish red though, and I'll use that on my peasants, I think, a lot. That'll give my army a nice theme of kind of a reddish tint without everybody being bright red. Now this color feels weird to me because it's so red. I'm so used to World War II colors. It's kind of pinkish red. I am glad I used a foundation because I can tell this would be too. I'd be able to see the primer through it. I think I'd have to do 2 coats. I also didn't shake the paint very well. I I have a mixer, but I have my phone plugged into the outlet for it, and I didn't feel like undoing it. And when I get done with this guy is on, they want to chat, I will pay more attention to the chat.